What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to cover a few different things. We're going to take a look at a couple sales for OP13 on eBay, some very interesting sales. We're also going to take a look at a couple booster boxes, and then we're finally going to talk about Japanese cards and specifically some of the mangas, and I'm going to give a little bit of a shorter take. I am planning to do a longer video on that in the future, but I have so many people ask me about Japanese cards, in my opinion, and I know I've talked about it multiple times on the channel already, but I figured I'd do it again. There are a lot of new people here. And then to close out the video, we will do the selection winner of yesterday's comment, and then whoever wins gets lifetime access to the market spreadsheet. So starting off, I do want to look at, actually, you know what, we'll save the eBay stuff. We'll go to a couple of the booster boxes first here. I kind of just hit you guys with that last second, but here we go, Romance Non. One quick thing I wanted to show you guys here. There was a sale on TCG Player, $3,950 today. It's just wild that these boxes are going again. And a couple other sets here. OP05, I did want to talk about this. The boxes aren't really going up in price. We're still sitting around $370. As you guys know, I think that OP05 is going to move sooner rather than later. It's one of the sets that moves the best on eBay when we look at sales volume, and also on TCG Player. Multiple boxes moving on a daily basis. And if you come down here and look, these are listings to the United States. So this is probably the best shipping I could show you guys. There's 5 from one seller at $368. There's 2 from another seller at $369. And then after that, one box at, what would that be, like $391 approximately. You go to the second page, then 3 at $394. 81 at $395. So this is where I think the boxes in the short term could get to around $400 USD. You do have to remember though that if a box like OP05 goes on another little run, goes up like 5-10%, a lot of those sellers that might have, 6, 7, 8 cases worth of product left, they might increase their price up to like $425, $430, because they're probably not in a hurry to offload all of their product. And that's normally how things work in this hobby. So keep an eye on OP05. I know a lot of new people come into the hobby. This is definitely a set that you should have some exposure to, in my opinion. After that, Wings of the Captain, another earlier set here. This is almost $200 now. I know TCG Player, it says $173. If you come in here and look, a lot of recent sales over the past couple days, $195, $196. Today, 3 boxes moved at $195. Again, like OP05, figured it was just a matter of time before this happened. And when you come down here and look, the lowest listed box currently on TCG Player is $195. This seller has 9 boxes. After that, this seller has 1, and then it goes up to 58. So I think it's going to stay in that range, close to $200, probably for a while. But I think with each passing day, we get further and further away from the possibility of this going back to being like $140, $150 booster box. We're going to see that slowly trend upward. And then speaking of things slowly trending upward, OP11, this has just been crazy, honestly. The rebound of this product, the V-shaped recovery here. We were all the way down around $130 in September. We had a run up to around 168 bucks. We got that restock down to like 130, I think, at the low. Now we're back to around 150 on TCG Player with a lot of recent sales pushing almost $180, a lot in the 160 range as well. Now, going into eBay, there are a couple things I want to point out. The first is just a ridiculous sale. This is the red super alternate art manga, whatever they're being called in OP13. Luffy, English. You can see here, this is a BGS 9.5, and I'm kind of laughing because there's 3 9.5 subgrades. This is nowhere near being able to regrade a 10, right? Like this card, realistically, it's going to be a 9.5. Maybe in the future, if someone wants to crack it, it would get as low as like a 9. And this went for 10,000 USD, or best offer. Now, it didn't go for 10 grand, spoilers, but if you come in here and look at 130 point, $8,500 for a BGS 9.5. If you guys have been watching the channel for more than like a week, I've been saying that the BGS 9.5, the PSA 10, and the raw copy are all fairly similar in price, but when I look at this sale, $8,500, I don't think the PSA 10s are going to be going for this much out the gate. Maybe they will. Maybe I'll be shocked, but the raw copy is going for, I think, like 6 grand currently based on recent sales, maybe even a little bit lower, like 5.5. This just seems insanely high to me to pay for a BGS 9.5 out the gate. But that is just my opinion. If you guys disagree, definitely feel free to leave a comment down below. I personally just would not feel good putting 8.5 bands into a 9.5 Luffy. So whatever. And then the second thing I wanted to bring up, the 5 Elders, the special alternate art cards, the God Pack ones, these are actually kind of dropping in price. And it's surprising because initially I said that these were probably going to be in like the 150 US to 250 US range about a month after release, maybe getting up to like $300. Then last week I said they might just stay around like that 400 or 500 range, who knows? But based on recent sales, these are actually dropping fairly quickly here. And this was a seller who decided to auction all of these off individually, which I'm not sure that was the right play. And you can see here, $305, $305, $292, and it gets worse than that, $249.50 and $237.50. If this continues, right? And again, like I think they're probably a little bit higher than this. I saw some buy it now is going for like $410. So I don't think we're right down to like 240, 250 on these yet. But if the trend continues, we could see some of these cards being like sub $200, maybe a month after release or 2 months after release of OP13. So I just figured that was interesting. I don't want to share too many more auctions because tomorrow we will be doing the midweek update when we look at sealed product, singles and slabs under $1,000. But I figured I'd throw those in this video. And then finally, just talking about Japanese cards a little bit. I get asked so often what I think about Japanese products. Should you invest in it? And I know there's a lot of people who disagree with me, but in short, my opinion on Japanese product is that I don't touch it. The first issue with One Piece Japanese stuff, at least the sealed products, is that they're not actually sealed well. There's like one piece of tape on the front of booster boxes, which is horrible. Long term, nobody's going to trust you that that's a sealed product. It's way too easy to heat up a hairdryer or something like that, get some hot air on it. It'll take the glue right off. You'll be able to open up the box. You could pull out the contents, put something else in there. Whereas when you have a wrap to the box, like we do in English, at least it's a little bit more difficult to, pull the products out without damaging the wrap and making it obvious if you do intend to reseal it. So having that level of protection, I think, is super important. Not just when it comes to the sealed booster boxes, but also just any product, right? If you're buying it as a consumer, you want to know with like almost 100% certainty that it hasn't been tampered with. The odds of you actually getting decent hits out of it are high. So for that reason, I don't like the sealed product. And then also when it comes to the slabs, the reality is English is just the dominant language now. More people are going to want English product compared to Japanese product. And I know there's going to be some people out there that say there's a price for everything. And a lot of people, at least in One Piece that I've listened to at this point, they'll say, for example, the Japanese Shanks, you have a total PSA pop of 4,000. Whereas when you look at the English one, we're at like 1,250 approximately. So you'd have to be paying basically a quarter of what you're paying in English if you want to buy the Japanese product, ideally less, right? Like 20%, 15% of the value. So I think the Shanks right now, the English PSA 10 is like 3K. If this is going for 7,500, it's probably in the range where some people would tell you it's a buy. Me personally, I think if you're looking at it as kind of like an equation to just break even, right? Like just have a little bit of plus EV over the English version, you're probably not going to do well anyways, just because the amount of people that are going to want it, the process of trying to offload it, it's going to be a little bit more difficult in the future. And I think just the fact that English is the dominant language is a reason why I think those cards are probably going to be the better ROI in the future. And again, we're going to have to wait and see to find out if that actually proves true over the next few years. But I just don't like it. I'm not a fan. If you guys want to go buy a Japanese product, absolutely feel free, especially if you're opening product. Like, why would you spend $15 on an English pack when you could buy the Japanese one for like $5? If you don't care about the writing, you don't mind looking at kanji and some of the other characters, like, have at her, man. That's awesome. The artwork's the same. That's really all that matters to a lot of people. But if you guys disagree with anything I've said in this video, obviously feel free to leave a comment down below. I try not to get too worked up about the individual cards and graded cards. That's not really where my specialty is. I don't think I'm smart enough to pick the winners over the losers. I would rather just buy the obvious plays when it comes to booster boxes, sit on them and let time do their thing. That's how I've succeeded investing in TCGs in the past, and that's how I'm going to continue succeeding investing in TCGs. So that's all I really wanted to get to in this video. We'll get to the giveaway now. We're going to copy the URL, come over to our YouTube random comment picker, throw that in there. We're going to fetch this. anything goes. We're not going, actually, yeah, we can include replies. We're not going to allow duplicates. And here we go. Good luck. So it's going to do a little roll here, and 154 comments, pick a winner. And there you go, circumkcod0229 spreadsheet. There you go, man. So if you're watching this video, shoot me an email. And what you're gonna have to do is just like send me a photo, or on Discord too if you're in there. Just shoot me a photo, whatever, proving that this is your account. If you can go to like the login thing, right? Like if you click on your tab here, and then you go to YouTube Studio or whatever, and you can just show me it's your account. That's great. And then I'll send out the invitation to your email. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Also, we did hit 6,000 subscribers today on the channel. That's absolutely ridiculous. I never thought this channel was going to grow at the pace it's growing. So I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully in the future, we can give away more spreadsheet access. And if you guys don't want to wait, it is always linked in the description down below. You can use the code ONEPIECE for 30% off all plans. And then also, if you are interested getting more serious into TCG investing, I do have consult calls set up. So whether you're looking to buy product, you're looking to learn how to sell product, whatever the process is that you're trying to get better at, I can definitely walk you through that. And with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you're having a great week. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.